Good day everyone and welcome back to SCP-1730. Today we're learning a bit more about the backstory and it's pretty gruesome, so perhaps don't eat your dinner while watching this one. A massive thanks to the patrons for keeping this channel afloat, a quick word from today's sponsor and we'll get started. You know, I'm betting the SCP Foundation has some pretty advanced cybersecurity, and what could be better and more affordable than NordVPN, officially the fastest VPN on the market. Let's talk gaming. Is there a game you want but it isn't available in your country? Piece of piss, just connect to that country and buy it. It's as easy as that. You might even get it for cheaper depending on the currency exchange rate, no geo-restricted servers, and no risk of DDoS attacks either. TV, connect anywhere. Never miss your favourite shows again. Your favourite streaming site not available in your country? Just connect to a new country. Again, you might even get it for cheaper as well. Also, no bandwidth throttling. At just the click of a button, you can connect to over 5,000 servers in 59 countries. NordVPN store none of your data, and you can enable the kill switch to block your connection if there is a dropout, and even use 2 VPN servers at once for double protection. In the same vein, their threat protection is unparalleled. It automatically scans and blocks web trackers, intrusive ads, and malicious URLs. Downloaded files are checked for malware, and any online spies and stalkers are completely blocked from all your devices. Use my link to get the 2-year bundle plan at a whopping discount with your first month completely free. And you are also covered with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's completely risk-free. Give it a go, follow my link, and go and enjoy all the amazing benefits of using NordVPN today. Containment update. Due to the events detailed in Exploration Log 7, all future exploration of SCP-1730 has been suspended indefinitely, pending Overseer approval. Addendum 1734 recovered data from the power station terminal.
Dr. Hadley, as you can see, the power output to the Thresher device has been adjusted to your specifications. At your command, the reactors will surge to the full 55 gigawatts required to activate the device. Like I mentioned in our previous correspondence, the reactors will likely not survive this kind of power surge. The core dedicated to the body pit might, given its reinforced construction, but there will likely be significant damage to all the rest. Additionally, and you'll forgive me for speaking out of place since I'm not assigned to the Thresher device, but the device is still wildly unstable. The tests have been encouraging on smaller subjects, and it might someday be an applicable piece of technology, but at this moment it is only considered a measure for very final attempts. Utilization of the device could make local reality unstable here, as well as wherever the device ends up. In other words, I hope you know what you're doing. Best of luck.
Addendum 1735 collected data logs, communication log 1.
Dear Dr. Hadley, we've received your communication, and thank you for taking the time to contact us. We have considered your request, but at this time, we cannot approve any transfers. If you're at Site 13, you're there because of your superb level of professionalism and aptitude in your position, and we cannot afford to have you anywhere else. You may speak to your site pharmacist about an amnestic regimen if you like, but we will not allow you to transfer from Site 13. As for your concerns about Director Emerson's mortuary protocol, we understand your complaints. However, you must understand that anomalies, especially those classified as humanoid, are not human beings. Human beings fall into a very specific category of non-anomalous life forms. Humanoid anomalies may appear to be human, but are simply humanoid. As such, they are not entitled to the rights and privileges afforded to human beings by the Ethics Committee. Our job as researchers is to identify where anomalies come from, and then to identify how to best utilize those anomalies for the benefit of mankind. We are protectors, and we cannot protect unless we know everything there is to know about the threat at hand. Once we have learned what we can learn, we neutralize the threat. If you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to contact our offices. Sincerely, Peter Grunwald.
Testing log, Entity 3421, Administrator Dr. 1343. Test purpose: to identify Class 8 entity's ability to bend reality while exposed to dangerous conditions, and to a Scranton Mollius inhibitor device. The use of SCP to reanimate entity between tests has been approved. Test 1. The entity is exposed to temperatures of -35°C. Result: the entity loses energy and becomes less hostile. Extended exposure results in low external temperatures and the decay of the skin layer. The entity expires after 1 hour of sustained exposure. Test 2. The entity is exposed to temperatures of 150°C. Result: the entity quickly succumbs to heat stroke. The body shows signs of burning across all surfaces. The entity sustains catastrophic organ damage as a result of the extreme temperature. The entity is unable to change reality to save itself. Test 5. The entity is submerged in water. Result: Note: water seems to interfere with the Scranton-Molius device. Test 13. The entity is electrocuted. Result: the entity is unable to save itself and the body is no longer salvageable. The entity has been moved to the body pit for incineration. Communication Log 2. Subject: control of hazardous toxins in the reactor core.
We're having some trouble controlling the waste back up in the pit. The runoff is supposed to be piped off-site, but it keeps getting sucked back up the air intake into the reactor. The stuff is seriously toxic. I don't want to send any of my guys in there to clean it up. Either we shut off the reactor long enough to go down there and clean it up by hand, or we're going to have a pretty serious issue here in a while.
Termination Log 1. Summary of events.
The entity showed unwillingness to submit to further testing, and as such was swiftly terminated by way of electrocution. The entity was then moved to the body pit for incineration. Noting here that additional orders have come in from Director Emerson requesting a full-scale termination of the entire humanoid wing. Those will be processed at your convenience, and we can begin to empty out those floors. Sincerely, Dr. 790.
Unknown Log 3.
Has shown some tenacity, but will soon break under the mental pressure applied to it by the orbiters. This is not uncommon. Many entities arriving for their initial inspection will resist exposure to treatment in some way, but it cannot be sustained for the duration of their time here. Entity does have a particularly interesting effect on, which leads me to believe that we could repurpose that aspect of the entity by removing the face, neck, upper chest area, and arms, and applying it to a Mark 12 using the... I will send this notice to Dr. 874 post-haste and move forward with this project. Sincerely, Dr. 720.
Unknown Log 12.
Dr. Hadley, they took your blood Leech-Boy down to the pit today. I made sure to alter his termination record accordingly, and made sure that output is still blocked up. I don't know what you've got planned for him, but that pit's pretty noxious now. It's not going to be good.
Letter received from Dr. Hadley.
Director Emerson. Before we get started, let me just say that the number thing was always bullshit. If you want to properly dehumanize your researchers, you put them in cubicles. The numbers were a joke from the beginning. If you're reading this, then you're left with a decision. What did you think was going to happen throwing the bodies of anomalies into that pit? Did you think that their being alive made them anomalous? Hell, being alive is the least anomalous part of humanity. I thought you might have seen that, but then things have changed. The containment breach was my fault. I won't lie to you. In my research, I had the pleasure of analyzing a young boy. His name was Elijah. He subsisted only on blood, and he could siphon it through others with his mouth, right through their skin, like a leech. He had no mental capacity beyond 2 years, and yet, he deserved the same chance to live as the rest of us. He did not choose to be the way he was. Then you decided to have him burned, like the rest of them. So I modified his record. The fires of your pit won't have incinerated him, just agitated him. And that sludge that's been building up, I'm glad you cared to get it cleaned up. I'm sure you're glad too. It's pretty awful down there. Anyway, your decision. The containment breach was inevitable. And whether it was something that crawled out of the pit that did it, or my hand on a button, makes no difference. You have a choice to make. Either stay your course and certainly be devoured by the creatures you have been torturing for the last 15 years, or activate the Thresher device and hope it dumps you in a more hospitable reality than your own. Either way, our world will be rid of you and your filth, and will be better for it. This is your death camp, Elliot. You made your bed, and now you get to die in it. Sincerely, Hadley. P.S. Amazing how much can change in just a few years, isn't it? All because you were chasing a promotion. Incredible. I hope it was worth it. Oh yeah, and if you decide you want to talk this out, I'll be down in the basement with Elijah. I've got a nice warm spot for him to get set up when he arrives. You make sure there will be plenty of blood.
Addendum 1736 received audio transmission. The following audio transmission was picked up on monitoring equipment on the morning of the 1st of February 2016. The transmission, both speech and an encrypted signal that followed, has been repeating on a continuous loop since it was first detected. The contents of the transmission are as follows.
Hello, my name is Dr. Mohammed Scott, and I'm a researcher within the SCP Foundation's Site-13 Temporal Studies Division. Myself and my team were abandoned within Site-13 during a recent catastrophic event, the full details of which we still don't know. We are currently surrounded by hostile entities and other hazardous anomalies. Of the original 30 members of my team, only 12 remain. To any Foundation operatives listening on this channel, we are asking for your assistance. Our supplies are dangerously low, as is our ammunition, and without aid, it is unlikely that we will last more than another month. Following this message will be an encrypted, adjusted VMS transmission, decipherable by standard 1980s Foundation technology. The information within that transmission will contain our location, at least as well as we can describe it. The transmission is wired by Dead Man Switch to myself, and it'll be played on a continuous loop till such a time as I die. Please help us. Thank you.
Containment Update 1st of February 2016. Due to information gathered by Foundation surveillance teams, exploration and recovery efforts into Site-13 are no longer indefinitely suspended. Details will be available on a need-to-know basis. Assigned Mobile Task Force units will be alerted by their superior officers. Addendum 1737 Updated Exploration Memorandum. In light of recent information gathered by Foundation surveillance teams, it has been deemed pertinent to once again send exploration and recovery teams into Site-13. By order of Overwatch Command, SCP-1730's containment procedures have been updated. Mobile Task Force Tau 5 Samsara is currently under consideration for deployment. Details to follow. And that concludes part 4 of SCP-1730. We're starting to approach the end now. I hope you enjoyed this video and be sure to like and subscribe if you did. Massive thanks to all the great guest voices, links below, and to all the amazing patrons. As always, please consider joining them. And thank you to Rick Trexon, Wings of a Meme, Number of the Yeast, Splendy the Tear God, Razman, Guardian of Energy, Luna Wilson, and Sam Samuel. Big thanks to the council members Arctoast Kibara, Captain Court, Hunter Killer, Tree, Bane, Monarch, Kikaran, Gamma Torn, and your local agent. And huge thanks to the administrators Andre Bachert, Viger, Kamana, Infinitune, Pro Voice Actor, Techno Ninja, GFHD, Man Mana, Deep Dark Pain, and Ryan Brenner. Thank you all for watching, I will see you all soon, and take care.